If we were to travel back in time thousands of years ago, we would have found ourselves in an area that is now known as Mesopotamia. This civilization is often referred to as the cradle of humanity because it gave birth to some of the most important inventions and concepts in human history. But what was Mesopotamian society like? How did their culture and way of life shape our world today? And how did they invent one of the scariest punishments in history? Stay till the end to find out. Welcome to my channel. Today, we will take a journey through time to explore the fascinating world of the ancient Mesopotamians and the invention of one of the most terrifying punishments in history. The Mesopotamian civilization was one of the earliest and most influential in human history. Located in the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which is now known as the Fertile Crescent, this civilization thrived for thousands of years and made significant contributions to art, science, and culture. The Mesopotamian people were known for their advanced understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, as well as their innovations in agriculture, law, and government. They developed the first known system of writing, invented the wheel, and created some of the earliest known works of literature. Their influence can be seen in the cultures and societies that followed them, making them a pivotal part of human history. The Mesopotamian civilization was not a single entity but rather a collection of city-states and empires that rose and fell over the course of several millennia. Some of the most notable civilizations in Mesopotamia include the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. Each of these civilizations had its own unique culture and achievements, but they all shared a common heritage and many of the same values and beliefs. The Sumerians are considered to be the first major Mesopotamian civilization. They emerged in the 4th millennium BC and made significant contributions to science, art, and culture. They invented the wheel and the plow, developed a sophisticated system of mathematics, and created some of the earliest known works of literature, including the Epic of Gilgamesh. Another influential Mesopotamian civilization was the Babylonian Empire, which emerged in the 2nd millennium BC. The Babylonians were known for their advancements in law and government. They developed one of the first known systems of codified laws, which is known as the Code of Hammurabi. This code of laws was based on the principle of an eye for an eye, which means that the punishment for a crime should fit the crime itself. For example, if someone stole property, they would be punished by having their property stolen. If someone committed adultery, they would be punished by being put to death. These laws may seem harsh by modern standards, but they represented a significant advancement in the concept of justice and law. They also developed a sexagesimal system of mathematics, which is based on the number 60. This system is still used today for measuring time and angles. The Mesopotamian religion was a polytheistic religion, meaning that it involved the worship of multiple gods. The Mesopotamian people believed that the gods controlled every aspect of human life, from the weather to the fertility of the land to the fate of entire nations. They built massive temples and ziggurats to honor their gods and goddesses and held festivals and rituals in their honor. Some of the most important gods in the Mesopotamian pantheon include Anu, the sky god, Enki, the water god, and Inanna, the goddess of love and war. The Mesopotamian religion had a profound influence on the culture and society of the time. It shaped the art, literature, and daily life of the people and played a central role in many of their rituals and festivals. In addition to their religious beliefs, the Mesopotamians also had a rich mythology filled with stories of gods, heroes, and monsters. One of the most famous Mesopotamian myths is the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh. This epic poem tells the story of Gilgamesh, a legendary king of Uruk, and his friend Enkidu. Together, they go on a series of adventures and battles with gods and monsters, ultimately learning about the nature of life and death. The Epic of Gilgamesh is considered to be one of the earliest known works of literature and has had a lasting impact on Western literature and culture. As we continue our exploration of Mesopotamian society, it is important to note that it wasn't just the elite few who had a say in how things were run. The merchants, artisans, and farmers of Mesopotamia also had a big impact on the development of this ancient civilization. They built large homes in small villages and cities, indicating a high level of prosperity and trade. Their houses were made of mud brick and had courtyards, bathrooms, and even indoor plumbing. They specialized in crafts such as pottery, metalwork, and textiles, and traded their goods with other Mesopotamian city-states. They kept meticulous records of their transactions and developed sophisticated accounting methods. This level of economic activity contributed significantly to the growth and development of Mesopotamia and society. However, despite the sophistication and innovation of Mesopotamian society, life there was not without its challenges. The region was prone to flooding and other natural disasters, which could devastate crops and entire communities. In addition, the Mesopotamian people faced threats from neighboring civilizations, including the Hittites, Mitanni, and Kassites. Despite these challenges, the Mesopotamian people were able to create a thriving and sophisticated civilization that lasted for thousands of years. But while Mesopotamian society was advanced in many ways, it also had its share of violence and brutality. One of the most notorious aspects of Mesopotamian culture was their practice of slavery. Slavery was widespread throughout the region, and slaves were often treated as property. They were bought and sold in markets and were forced to work in a variety of settings, including households, farms, and mines. In addition to slavery, the Mesopotamian people were also known for their use of torture and brutal punishments. These practices were used to punish criminals, but also to maintain control and power over the population. One of the most infamous examples of Mesopotamian brutality was the invention of the iron fist. The iron fist was a device that was used to crush the bones of criminals. It was made of two pieces of iron that were connected by a hinge and was operated by a crank. As the crank was turned, the two pieces of iron would come together, crushing whatever was placed in between them. The iron fist was used to punish a variety of crimes, including theft, murder, and rebellion. Mesopotamian society was a complex and fascinating one. It made significant contributions to science, art, and culture, and was home to some of the earliest known examples of law and government. However, it was also a violent and brutal society that tolerated slavery and used torture and cruel punishments. As we continue to explore the history of our world, it's important to remember both the good and the bad of past civilizations. The Mesopotamian people were both innovators and tyrants, and their legacy is a reminder of the complexities of human history. We've explored the many facets of Mesopotamian society, from its impressive achievements in science and culture to the more brutal aspects of life under its various empires and city-states. Now, we want to hear from you. What surprised you the most about Mesopotamian culture and history? Did you know about the Iron Fist before watching this video, or any other interesting facts about ancient Mesopotamian history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe for more educational videos about ancient history. We hope you enjoyed learning more about Mesopotamian history with us.